Alright, so today apparently 16 billion passwords were exposed in a record-breaking data breach, which opening access to Facebook, Google, Apple, and any other service imaginable. Now I know what you're probably thinking, 16 billion passwords. Am I affected by this? And so, in case you have like intense ADHD, so the short answer is no, you're not. And the long answer is you are definitely not. But however, I do want to go over like this because I find that this whole incident apparently was all over every single news article. I mean, if you just look it up right now, like you see that like Forbes is reporting on it, this one was reporting on it. Now some have been updated as of the writing of today, so that's good. But there is no massive data breach, and I'm gonna explain why later on in the video. But in essence, really, in case you don't really understand, like just apply basic, password protection and you should be fine. But let's take a quick look into this whole data breach because there might be more to it than we thought. So we're going to read really quickly. So here it says, what kind of data was leaked in the breach? Researchers say most of the leaked data comes from a mix of info-stealer, malware, credential stuffing sets, and recycled old leaks. There's no reliable way to cross-check all the data sets, so there's definitely some overlap. Bottom line is we can't know exactly how many unique accounts were exposed. Yeah, we can stop right here, but we'll keep going. But it's likely a lot of the same data is showing up more than once. However, the information that the team managed to gather revealed that most of the information followed a clear structure: URL followed by login details and a password. Most modern info stealers, malicious software stealing sensitive information, collect data in this exact way. So if you actually look at their chart here, it actually shows where it talks about here. So it looks like logins, users, social profiles, TMF, dialers, big data index, Telegram index, and if you actually keep going, this all adds up to a whopping, at least apparently, 16 billion. So that's what it was. And you can actually go over here. So it goes over the top 20 leaked data sets by number of records. And you can actually see that, yeah, this all adds up to roughly, what, 16 billion? So this is essentially everything that has been leaked, or it's been cross-referenced to have been leaked already. Because, in essence, if there is a massive data breach from Apple, Facebook, or Google, you will know about it. Like, you are literally going to know about it at first hand, and they'll tell you to change your passwords. So, I don't understand how any of this works. It's like, I understand how this got taken out of hand. So now you have some fear mongering, so people are going to look at this and be like, oh wait, is there a data breach? No, there was no breach to begin with. But let's keep going because there's even more. So, it says here, delete data includes login info for just about every online service you can think of. We're talking Apple, Facebook, Google, GitHub, Telegram, and even government platforms, with 16 billion records floating around. It's safe to say almost nothing was left out. According to the researchers, leaks at this scale can fuel everything from phishing scams and account takeovers to ransomware attacks and business email compromise. The inclusion of both old and recent info stealer logs, often with tokens, cookies, and metadata, makes this data particularly dangerous for organizations lacking multi-factor authentication or credential hygiene practices, the team said. Since here, unnecessarily compiling sensitive information can be damaging as actively trying to steal it. For example, the Cyber News research team discovered a plethora of supermassive databases housing billions upon billions of login credentials from social media and corporate platforms to VPNs and developer portals. No stone was left unturned. Our team has been closely monitoring the web since the beginning of the year. So far, they've discovered 30 exposed data sets containing from tens of millions to over 3.5 billion records each. In total, the researchers uncovered an unimaginable 16 billion records. None of the exposed data sets were reported previously, bar one in late May. Wired magazine reported a security researcher discovering a mysterious database with 184 million records. It barely scratches the top 20 of what the team discovered. Most worryingly, researchers claim new massive data sets emerge every week, signaling how prevalent info stealer malware truly is. When you really look at this, okay? When you really look at this, what this just means is that, first of all, it's just telling us, one, people don't use two-factor authentication, and honestly, you're in 2025. At this point, if then like why? Like you should just use it. It's not that hard. And I'm not talking like you get a text message. I'm talking like you get like you can use what is it like Google Authenticator. You have like Microsoft Authenticator. You have all that stuff. And basically every time you log into something, it gives you a code that you have to do. And by the way, and these codes switch like every what maybe like every 30 seconds or something, and it's always a different combination. So like yeah, it's pretty straightforward. And of course you have like your standard ones as well. But if you're not using it in 2025, like what are you doing? It's like it's such a decent practice. So we'll go into like more safety measures later, but protecting yourself, like one 30-second inconvenience can save you like 10 minutes or 10 or like a week of inconvenience. So keep that in mind. But anyways, so the reason why I always found this data breach very strange, or this alleged data breach very strange, is because whenever it comes to big corporations, you are always going to know if your data is getting leaked. Why? Because they literally, it is their legal, like, what you call it, is their legal obligation to tell you this stuff. So if they don't tell you you're getting leaked, that's kind of a dick move, and of course that will get them sued to oblivion. So we're gonna go over 3 different ones here. So I have one from Apple, where it says here that in here it talks about like detecting passwords or whatever. So it says here, Apple will send your device a list of common passwords that are preset present in data leaks. For your passwords that are not in this list, passwords will send information calculated from your passwords to Apple to check if the passwords may be present in a data leak. You receive a warning for any passwords that are determined to possibly have been included in a data leak. Your passwords actually are never shared with Apple, and Apple does not store the information calculated from your passwords. You can disable this feature at any time by going to Settings, Apps, Passwords, Detect Compromised Passwords. So, okay, I know some people might not know this, so I'll just run them anyway. So think about it this way. Every time you set up a new phone, you have to set up everything into it because everything is stored locally on your device. So Apple does not see your passwords. However, your device can be like in an algorithm where it's like, oh, so you have this many passwords and this many passwords that are in here, and this could be possibly a leak hazard. That's what it does essentially. So remember that every time you set up a new phone, you're basically setting up a new device from scratch, in essence. And if you keep going here, for Google, it says here, a key aspect of remediation is notifying customers when incidents impact their data. Key facts are evaluated throughout the incident to determine whether the incident affected customer data. If notifying customers is appropriate, the incident commander initiates the notification process. The communications lead developers a communication plan with inputs from the product and legal leads, informs those infected, and supports customer requests after notification with the help of customer care. So there you have it again. Somewhere else, Google will tell you whatever happens, inside of it, it's their legal obligation to let you know. So if you're in a data breach of 16 billion passwords, yeah, that's kind of, you're going to be told about it. They have to. And even here with like Meta or Facebook, I guess, at the time it was called, with all their controversies, even they have here, they had a bit of incident where they had something where like they had a security issue affecting 50 million accounts. And they even said here that we have reset the access tokens of the almost 50 million accounts we know were affected to protect their security. We're also taking the precautionary step of resetting access tokens for another 40 million accounts that have been subject to a view as lookup in the last year. As a result, around 90 million people will now have to log back into Facebook or any of their apps that use Facebook login. After they have logged back in, people will get a notification at the top of their newsfeed explaining what happened. So even whenever something happens at Meta, or Facebook at the time, you see that, oh, they also tell their customers. So if all these news articles have all of this information about a massive data breach, why weren't you told about it? Because that didn't happen. So it's just kind of crazy to me. So from what I understand from a cybersecurity perspective, the number one reason why people like end up getting like their stuff taken is usually because of stuff like phishing scams or like downloading malware or like suspicious links. That is really what people get caught on. So for example here, if I chop up like a phishing email with ChatGPT for educational purposes, you get what happens here is that, oh, you have about 12 hours to get to this thingy before you have to before your account gets taken or something. And so what phishing scams will always do is they give you a sense of urgency. And so what you have to pay attention to is that you got to sit down, look at the email again, and be like, okay, what did this person actually send it to me? Wait, do I even pay tax on this stuff? Like, ask yourself questions, and that's way you'll realize, oh, this is a scam. Okay, and also, if from somebody you know, you can just ask them, did you send me an email about this? It actually saves you so much time. Trust me. And on top of that, what you can also do is do something called use a password manager. So if you are honestly paranoid about, oh my god, my password's gonna get taken, one, don't reuse the same password over and over again. Okay? Don't do that. You're basically asking to get people to enter your password, because when you make a weak password, what people will do is that they'll be putting into they'll be guessing it all the time, and once they get one, they're gonna try that password over and over and over again. Not because there's some superstar hacker, it's because, it's because you use the same password. And even within password managers like Bitwarden, I'll put them up. I'll give you that one. They stores your passwords, but also it also lets you generate strong passwords, and you get to keep it in there, so you don't have to memorize any of these long passwords that you ever make up. And if you're like me, who's even more old school than that, you can even store your password you can store your password on your computer or something, in a spot only you know where it is. Or if you're really paranoid, put on a USB. But the point is that you have methods that you can use, and so why don't you use it? Even your browsers have built-in password managers. Now, I don't know if I recommend those entirely, but I'm just saying the options are out there. And like I said earlier, two-factor authentication will save you a lot of time, because every time you do something, it has to verify if you're the right person. And don't forget too, guys, that scams have been around for years. I mean, the oldest one that I know of is literally Nigerian Prince, where it tells you here, oh, my assets are stuck, and I need you to pay this amount for me to get it out. They're all frozen in a bank account and this, that. So, while most of you hopefully won't fall for it, I'm sure there's people, like an older person might be like, oh no, I gotta send this guy's stuff. And it's not really, not really true. And even worse, especially nowadays, I don't know if this was that prevalent, but there's also job scams, okay? Because people looking for work, work is very hard to find nowadays, especially now. But you'll have ghost postings or fake job postings, and then job postings instead of being real. And I get some of these from time to time. Okay, you get this company where it's oh, we pay you this amount of money, and you're like, what is that? Or the worst ones are oh my god, the Telegram ones are terrible. Hi, do you have time today? No, I don't. But anyways, I'm getting sidetracked here, but you're getting the points here. So whenever you see a massive data breach happens, just read a bit more, okay, instead of getting fear-mongered, because most of the time, it's not really the case. I promise you, it's not the case, okay? So don't worry about it too much. And if you're really paranoid, just change up your passwords, use a password manager, use a strong password, use a lot of characters. Trust me, no one's going to get in. It's going to be very, very hard to get into it. So yeah. Or you can even go to that website that I've been posting. I've talked about that website in the past, so I won't link it again. I won't show you guys again, but you can look at that as well if you've been involved in data breaches. So, yeah, that's it today. So, was there a data breach of 16 billion passwords getting leaked out? No, at least not a big one all at once. So, just because a lot of articles post something about it, don't just instantly believe it. And yeah, so we're in that era where we gotta double check our information, guys. But that's what I'm here for. So, if you enjoyed this little video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and follow my socials on the description below. But that's it for me today. See ya.